Welcome back, my low subscribers. In this video, I want to talk about the TTArtisans 75mm f2, which has come to be one of my favorite compact lenses to just take out any day. And this one combined with the 40, but I want to talk about the 75 and why this is such a great lens. So stick around. If you're like me, you love affordable lenses and want as little compromises as possible, especially because we live in a world where camera stuff gets expensive very quickly. So today I want to show you some sample images to kind of just, you've probably seen several videos, and just to add on to the case that this lens, although affordable, is very respectable and can offer you a lot to your photography in terms of image quality, separation of your subject, lightweight, and just it's expanding to different mounts, so that's exciting. So this is a $160 to $175 lens. At this point, I know a lot of people have already seen it, but I just want to reconfirm that I agree with everything that I've been watching, where this lens is just such a good lens. It has great optics. So far, I've been seeing that it's E-mount, L-mount, Fuji X, Nikon Z, in black or silver. So you've heard it's not a new lens. But in this video, I want to show you my samples from the perspective of an everyday photographer, taking pictures for myself, this channel, and occasionally for jobs. So first off, the age of third-party lenses is and has always been there, but this reconfirms that they're no longer the worst lenses or difficult to work with. And yes, they're not perfect, and they do have some workarounds sometimes. They don't have the ultimate support for native mounts, but they're adding crazy value. This lens has impressed me. It is a great everyday lens for street photography and for portraits. Using it on the A7CII, I've just been so happy using it. Usually, I don't consider the 75mm to be its own standalone focal length. It's usually, part of a range in a zoom lens. So 75 is kind of a niche focal length, just like 85. You take it out for a purpose, usually for portraits. In this case, I found myself enjoying 75 a lot more than I thought I would, and in some cases more than the 85. And the reason for that is that I started to notice, just as they say 50mm or 40mm is the closest to human vision, I started to notice that when I would look at the subject or something that caught my attention, and then I looked in the viewfinder, it was the same proportion, and it looked the way I was looking at it. So in other words, although it's not a 40, which is what they call human equivalent vision, I guess, in focal length, the 75 was focusing in, honing in on that specific detail that my eyes were locking focus on. So when I looked into the viewfinder, it just started to get very natural to get the image I was looking for. So as soon as I saw something interesting, I would just lift, look through the viewfinder, and that was the same view as seeing it with my own eyes. So I really liked that aspect of the 75. I don't know if that sounds odd because it is a 75, but I think that just encouraged me to take it out more and to take more detail shots of things I'm seeing every day. So it became natural and it just feels right. So as you can tell, I like it. I've been using it very often, just for anything. And I'm very satisfied with the build. It's metal. The glass is giving me great sharpness. It's not clinically sharp, so I do like that. The autofocus has been working well with the real-time autofocus. There may be some times where the real-time autofocus kind of loses it, but I mean, it's a third-party lens, so I think it's working very well for what it is with the advanced autofocus on the Sony. Eye autofocus, all that, I have had no issues. I think it's a great compromise having an f2 at this focal length. It may not sound like much going from a 2.8 to an f2, like when you're on a zoom lens, but the f2 really does add a lot of separation. And because of the focal length, you are isolating a lot already. So you are getting a benefit of separation, even at medium to long distance, as you'll see in this sample. This dog was pretty far away from me, and it's still like even in the foreground, you kind of see that separation. So very nice image quality. It does make me feel like I'm shooting with a, not exactly a vintage lens, but something in the middle between vintage and modern. So I can tell you this has been in my bag whenever I'm taking it, and it's an excellent partner to the 40mm by the same company. And these two just perform very similarly, and they're just, to me, that is a great pair to just travel with and have 40 and 75. You kind of get the best of both worlds, not going too wide, but also not going too telephoto. So because I've been enjoying this focal length so much, this actually encouraged me to try out a manually focusing 75 1.4, the TTArtisans Samara. So I'll show you some images on that at a later time. But I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know below if you've been using this lens. I mean, it's so accessible. I'm really happy that they're doing it, and I hope they add more focal lengths. And I'm currently about to try it on the L mount, so we'll see how that goes. Thanks for watching.